This is me, getting ambushed by Minecraft's Deadliest Duo, Jaden and Skigox. But to know how I got in this situation, we need to go back to when the 9 Lives SMP started. Right off the bat, I ran into 2 players, Nedraw and Simon. Nedraw and I had previously teamed on the Ashes and Spartan SMP, so I was familiar with him, but I didn't really know this Simon guy. But I let my insecurities fade as we had bigger problems to take care of, that being the fact that PvP was getting turned on in around 20 minutes, so I had to gear up as quickly as possible by getting a lot of iron. But the problem is that I was playing on 1.16, so not only could I not go below Y0, copper and iron looked the exact same. But with the help of my teammate Nedraw, I was able to get plenty of iron before PvP got enabled. So after enchanting our gear, we headed back up to the surface to find players for kills. And a minute later, I spotted one. Now this guy wasn't taking damage. At first I thought it was lag, but after chasing him for a bit, I realized that PvP hadn't been truly enabled. Unlucky, but we'll get him another time. After the owner enabled PvP, I tried searching for Zion Zen, but had no luck in trying to find him. Then one of my other teammates Handsome Ollie logged on, but was spawn killed by Zion. I wanted to head to spawn and hunt him down then, but it would be stupid as we had no food, so we decided against it. We had to resolve this food problem. That is when Nedraw has the idea to go to the nether to get mushrooms for suspicious stew, a food item that gives maximum saturation. I couldn't join him as I would get an advancement which would conveniently announce in chat that I had indeed entered the nether, so I waited in the overworld. So after 20 minutes of waiting, Nedraw told me that he was too scared to come through the portal, so I had to now go up to the surface in order to ensure that he was safe, and as I was doing so I spotted someone. I had spotted Skigox, also known as Noah. He was a past enemy of mine from the Ashes SMP, so I knew that if he spotted me, I was dead. So I just waited there hoping that he wouldn't find me, and that is when Nedraw gave me the go-ahead, as he had already reached my coordinates. Now that Nedraw had returned with food, we were ready to get some kills, but you wanna know what he isn't ready for? Our sub race to 1,000 subscribers. We are in the lead right now, but we are still quite far from reaching 1,000. But hear this, if all of you watching subscribe right now, we might even hit 1,000 subs with one video. Another one of our teammates, Mr. Snowy, who had gotten down to 4 lives, was now being spawn trapped by a player named Sad Kid Snapnap. So we headed to the coordinates he gave us, but had no luck in trying to find Sad Kid, but instead of Sad Kid, we found someone else. Now Nedraw had messaged me prior to this that Jaden would betray his team, so I didn't fight him, but then. Now with Noah dead, Jaden ran, but then a familiar face returned to fight. We had secured our first kills on the server, so after chasing Jaden out of spawn, I went back to spawn to celebrate our victory, and then my power went out cause my luck is just like that, and then, the opponent team capitalized.
You think you're looking good? He's going to die. Ah, bitch!
Got him.
I'm out. Yeah, come on!
Let's go!
Well, Nedraw died due to my luck being horrendous, and this would be the first of many times my luck would fail me, but that is simply part of the game, I guess. We had to put this behind us and move on. Then I logged back on and had to save Nedraw as he was stuck underground. Then I started work on setting up a temporary base where we could store items and grow food. Then we made a plan to attack Jaden's teammate Noah, who was still undergeared and weak, so we started the search. But had no luck in trying to find him, so I headed back to base. Then we went mining and found a mineshaft. This was great as we could get cobwebs. Nedraw also found a double spawner, which would prove to be very useful later on. Then I went back to base and Nedraw went to search for mushrooms. Then suddenly, I got a weird feeling, like a sixth sense, an insecurity, that I was about to get ambushed. I started using F3A to spot anyone near me, and these insecurities would turn out to be correct. Well, I died. They had somehow found the base, and I knew that my teammate would soon die too, so he suggested to drop a TNT minecart on top of them. I told him to store his items somewhere just in case and only take rails and the cart with him, and well, this is how it went. So basically what happened was that Nedraw dropped the cart but it didn't explode, which then led to his death, which wasn't all too bad as he had stored his items away. So after that, I logged off and slept on the incident. Then I grinded out some basic gear, then we tried to lure a server member to a trap, but he never showed up, so instead me and Nedraw tried to find his base. And after probably the luckiest F3 of his life, Nedraw found him and Noah underground. And as we were digging down, Nedraw logged off and told me that he couldn't log on. So now I was left alone and vulnerable. I got out of there and headed towards spawn before anyone spotted me. But it looked like I had been followed. Noah was full on chasing me and it was evident that he wanted me dead. I ran for a bit so my hunger could go down, so I could eat my suspicious stew, and also to compose myself. So then once my hunger went down, I ate the stew and went for him. I got him. I had successfully gotten my revenge against Noah, so after nearly dying to the mobs, I dug a tunnel underground to get him items, and saying that he was stacked was an understatement. He had nearly half a stack of diamonds and a lot of gold and iron. This encounter not only had given us a lot of resources, but it had also given me the confidence to take fights as I had just won a fight which I should have lost on paper. Then I went to rescue my friend Snowy who was currently stuck underground on 3 lives, so I got to him and gave him food. Then we went off to visit Jaden's base as we had previously found it. There was nothing of value there, so we left. But then I fell in a hole which took me below Y0, then I joined back on 1.17 and it turned out that it was a dripstone trap. Also remember that double spawner from earlier, well, Nedraw turned that into a whole XP grinder. So we set up a base there and grinded. Due to the world border, there was a huge shortage of cows, so getting good enchants was impossible. But we used a technique where we made several sets of level 1 enchants and kept combining them. It took a lot iron and a lot of anvils, but eventually we got good gear. Then me and Nedraw tried searching for Jaden, as he was the only enemy online, but had no success in trying to find him. Then Nedraw convinced Jaden and Noah that he was gonna betray me, and needed their help in order to kill me. In reality this was all a trap so we could jump them, and as we were heading back up from the base, this happened. Simon had somehow killed Jaden, and later he would kill Noah too, but we could do a lot more. Nedraw still had Jaden's trust, and we could kill him again easily, so we did. We had killed him once again, but since it was kind of an unfair kill, we decided to give their items back, but little did we know, that this gesture wouldn't cool them off at all. Well, a creeper just murdered me. Like, what is actually wrong with these stupid mobs? Anyways, it was all okay since I got all my items back. Then we went to hunt Jaden and Noah again as they had stolen from our base. Our goal here was to threaten Jaden that we would ban his teammate off the server by taking his last life. Either Jaden would have to give him his own lives, or his teammate would be left at 1 or lower lives. Nedraw has apparently spotted him, so we went to the coordinates he gave us but couldn't find him. Just as we thought he had gotten away, this happened. Nedraw had killed Jaden, and now we could continue on with our operation. So we met Jaden at spawn and asked him to give us our stuff back. Then he took us to his base where we also saw Noah. I stayed at the surface to ensure nothing strange happened, and Nedraw went down to their base. They were being very stubborn and were refusing to give the items. Despite Nedraw threatening to kill Noah, they still didn't hand over the items, so it became evident that they were plotting something, and soon enough, Noah tried to trap Nedraw, so then Nedraw killed him, leaving him one death away from a ban. But Noah got to Jaden and was given a life by Jaden. This meant that Noah was now on 2 lives and Jaden was now on 4. Our operation was successful. We had greatly weakened our opponents, which meant that they wouldn't attack us, right? Well, while I was away enjoying my life, this happened. Nedraw had been ambushed, but how did our enemies regear so fast? Well, if you rewatch that footage, you will notice that Simon was actually part of the killing. We had been betrayed. Despite being on top of the world, we still somehow lost. Nedraw had been spawn trapped at our base and had been 3 versus 1 ed. I mean, no problem. We could still grind our items back as we still had our base. Wrong. They had completely griefed our base. We had truly lost it all. But if you know anything about me, you would know that I wasn't willing to give up. Nedraw still had some spare gear which we could use to get our revenge. And some good revenge we would get.